Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Today's video, we're going to discuss how it's not Biden's fault. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to sit here and think I'm defending Biden, and in some ways I am. Because I'm noticing a trend that we need, or we should stay away from. Not that we have to, but we should stay away from. And that's blaming Biden for a lot of the shit that's going on now, currently. I know a lot of us don't like him. I can't stand the man. I mean, like, listen, if he had a heart attack tomorrow, it'd be a fucking Biden party. But we have to be very careful on how we sound otherwise. Because Biden, the other day, walked away from an event. I think it had something to do with the Gold Star family. And as they were bringing out, I guess, a member, he just walked away. And everybody now is online calling him disrespectful and all this other bullshit. Guys, here's the fucking rub. And pay a fucking attention to what's going on with Biden. He is sick. He has dementia. He's senile. He Alzheimer's. Whatever the fuck's going on in his brain, he has a cognitive issue. It is evident. So to turn around and start calling him disrespectful and all this other bullshit, we start sounding like the left, like assholes, because we're not smart enough to identify he has a cognitive issue. Now, his issue is so bad, guys, he can't make decisions for himself. In fact, he's not even in charge. He never has been. There's somebody else pulling the strings. We all know this. So to turn around and start browbeating him for being sick is stupid. We sound like idiots at the end of the day, blaming a guy who doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Right now, as we speak, he's thinking about ice cream and puppies. That's what he's probably thinking when he was walking away from that event. And we all saw everybody's reaction on their face at the event, like, what the hell's going on? He is sick. He has a cognitive issue. There's something going wrong. We have identified this 3 years ago. This isn't anything new. This is something that is getting worse and progressively getting worse. We've watched him make mistakes after flubs. He is sick. You cannot browbeat a guy for being sick. Now, if he had all his faculties together, absolutely, go after him. Do whatever fucking needs to be done. But I'm watching people like Alan Graham. I know a lot of you know who he is. He's on Instagram. I don't think he has a YouTube channel. Maybe he does. I don't know. But like, that guy is starting to fall the fuck off and sound like a liberal. But he's sounding like a conservative liberal, if that makes sense. He's making these accusations about Biden being a disrespectful monster and all this other bullshit. I'm like, yo, he's sick. You can't blame somebody when they're sick. Yes, should he have enough wherewithal to step down? Absolutely. But he doesn't. When you have cognitive disorders, guys, especially dementia or Alzheimer's, that goes out of the window. You don't make fucking shots, and you don't call the shots anymore. You don't make the rules anymore. But they're keeping him in power, acting like we don't know. Now, am I upset at the elites or who's ever in charge for treating us like we're stupid, like we don't know what the fuck's going on with him? Absolutely. But I also know that the elites know, whoever's in charge of him knows that we're going to be the idiots and keep blaming him. It is no longer him. It hasn't been him for the last 3 years, possibly even longer than that, when he was under Obama's ruling, if you will. It's not about him anymore, guys. It's who's ever in charge using him as a puppet. Kamala Harris just said the other day that she's going to have to take over as president because of that. All of his flubs, guys, all of his mistakes now are being strung together, and the media is even starting to fucking call it out. His fan favorite CNN is even calling him out on this bullshit. It gets bad when liberals start looking at it and go, this isn't right. We're going to have to do something about this. He's going to have to step down. They're going to make him step down. I'm going to probably say within the next couple of months if this gets worse. And then Kamala Harris is going to be the first female black president, just to fucking fanfare and have it in history books. That's what they're going to do. I'm guessing. Theorizing. But to turn around and keep browbeating a guy who was sick, and maybe I have issue with it because my father had Alzheimer's and I watched him decline. My mother and my brother watched him even closer decline. And we watched a guy who, when identified, my father that is, when he was identified with Alzheimer's, my mother told me the look in his face was heartbreaking. And so watching Biden go through this, that's all I'm thinking. I'm like, he doesn't fucking know. He doesn't know anymore. So unfortunately, I'm sitting here defending a guy that's sick because he's sick, not because anything else, not because he made the mistake knowingly. When he walked out of that event, guys, he had a smile on his face. He thought they were clapping for him. He's thinking about my ice cream treat is coming up. That's what he's thinking. He's not thinking, fuck these dudes and fuck the Gold Star family. Not at all. There's not a politician on this planet that would. He is not there. Now, of course, the people that are in charge of him are making this happen. They're doing this. They're guiding him in whatever direction they want him to go in. But they can't even control him anymore. They can't predict what he's going to do now. He is, I would almost guarantee he's not going to have another speech from, let's say, today on. He's not doing a debate. Obviously, he's not debating anyone. Though I don't know why he threw his hat in the ring. Unless Kamala Harris steps up as president and then takes his place in the presidency. And if she does, the Democrats are done. Done. They're done now. They're actually done now. There's no hope for them. It's probably why I think something fucked up is going to happen to Trump. That's just my guess. But again, guys, we need to stay away from sounding like these liberals. We need to be smarter than them. We need to be a little more sympathetic than them. We don't need to match them in their idiocy. We don't need to match them in their stupidity. We don't need to match them in their fucking low-reaching bullshit. President Biden is sick. It is clear. We don't need the media to tell us. We don't need some fucking doctor to tell us. We don't need Fauci to come out of retirement and go, well, you know. We don't need to know any of that. For any of us who dealt with people who had Alzheimer's or dementia, he is displaying the classic symptoms and signs of it. Hands down. So with that, moving forward, guys, I hope you guys can look at it from that angle, from that lens, if you will, and just be like, he's sick. And there's nothing we can do about it because they won't do anything about it. Now, if Kamala Harris gets into power, we are 1,000% fucked in the ass. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.